I'm Fabian Fernandez from the .NET Conf organization. I'm here with Rachel Appel. She works at Microsoft. She's content developer for the Azure Functions team. So, Rachel, you were talking about Azure Functions. You were doing a workshop. So, what can you tell us why developers should pay attention to this technology?
Well, Azure Functions are a newer technology that we have released last year. And what it does is it's part of our platform as a service platform where you can write code, put it in the cloud, and have it up and running in minutes, but not have to deal with the platform, hence the platform as a service. So you get to do what I like to say is you get to run code, not computers. So this way I can write little bits of code. I can write them efficiently because they're small units, but these tiny efficient units of code can integrate with the various systems that you have, perhaps Microsoft Dynamics, CRM, or one of the other Dynamics products, your own custom built your own custom built software, or any kind of third-party software, perhaps texting or emailing with Twilio and SendGrid and things like that. So you can tie systems together, you can run your batch processing, you can do all sorts of things that you would normally do, but would take a greater effort and would also require IT pros and admins to get involved. Now, you don't need to because the platform is there for you, so you can just write your code and run your code and not worry about that other stuff.
Cool. So it seems like it's a really faster way and more quick and easy way of developing applications. What can you tell me about the languages, programming languages that you can use to write Azure Functions?
Yeah, this is the best part too. So of course there is C# as obviously a first-class language, but also F#, Python, Node with JavaScript, Batch and Bash, and TypeScript as well.
Cool. So it seems like Microsoft is really taking very serious this thing about opening their platform and including everyone on it to use it. What do you think about the last years of that inclusion, of that open source way of taking all the Azure platform, for example?
Yes, well, we do love open source. You may have noticed. We're actually now the #1 producer of open source software. We have a lot of repos out there, and including Azure Functions. If you look on GitHub, you'll see what's called the WebJobs SDK and related libraries. Those are our open source libraries for Azure Functions. So with the cloud and open source, there's really nothing we can't do.
Nice. So let's try to move now to the conference. So this is your second time at the .NET Conf in South America, and this time we are in Argentina. So your first time was in 2014 in Uruguay, your first conference. So what do you think of the conference? What motivates you to keep coming? Do you plan to keep coming in the future? We know we have more editions. Now the Uruguay edition is going to be at the end of the year. So what do you think about the conference? Why do you keep coming?
Well, I love the NetConf conference. This is a fantastic little conference that you guys run. As a speaker of conferences, there's some that are better than others. This is one of the better ones, right? Well organized. Also, I just love doing the speaking. That's also what I do along with the content development speaking and evangelism type activities. And I do have a history in developer evangelism at Microsoft as well. So I, spread those tasks around a bit. But I especially love coming to South America as well. Argentina is great. Uruguay is fantastic. So I can't wait to go to Colombia as well. All of these places, and I get to meet new people. And one day I will finally become fluent in Spanish, and I'll be able to understand a little bit more of what you're saying.
So great. Thank you so much for all your good words about us. Well, what does it feel for a native English speaking person that comes to the conference in a country that everybody speaks Spanish? How do you feel? What is the reception you get from the people at the conference? What's the feedback they are giving to you?
The reception has been great. Almost everybody also speaks English, so they've been asking questions in English and actually being quite nice about just defaulting to English, even though I also try to practice a little Spanish, but my skills are just not there to have big conversations about technology just yet. So it's just a little different being a stranger in a strange land. I also speak in Europe, but there's also just a little bit, you do have the UK and they speak English as their native language. I think if I didn't have at least a little bit of Spanish, it would be a little more difficult. But just, going around, everybody's so welcoming and very nice and accommodating, which is, makes you very much more comfortable than if they weren't. So with the tiny bit of Spanish that I can speak and the welcoming folks trying to help me out by speaking English, it works pretty well, I think.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. It was really awesome to have you at the conference. It was a really nice talk, really nice workshop. So thank you once again for coming now to Argentina, and hope we can see you in Uruguay.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'd be glad to come back.
Okay, thanks.